Hello my friends, I have to start not from the good news. Russia advanced dramatically today in the Bakhmut city, so it was yesterday and it is today, so quite a big update. They've took this residential area and they've took the military base over here in the central part of the city. As I told you, from this military base, because it's the big park, they may start the advancement to other directions, and that is what they did, advancing to this area. And they also move forward over here and also from the south and the southeast, leaving to Ukraine just one district and also the part of the northwest district as well. And if we check the border of the gray zone, it means that there is the tiny part of the city that still belongs to Ukrainian forces. In all of this gray area there is the fighting, and it's hard to tell who is controlling this area. But the main thing that we are still controlling the Kromova. It's very important to move our forces out, and also the crossroad in the city. Wagners tried to advance towards that place but unsuccessfully, and today the leader of the Wagner forces, Prigozhin, confirmed that they were not able to take the crossroad in the city. And by using this road, Ukraine still got the supplies into the city. Alright, I'll delete this one, but there are also good news around Bakhmut. Gazprom, one of the biggest Russian corporations, decided to create their own private military army. They call it Potok, which you may translate as the flow. And what they did, they mostly took their security guards of Gazprom and sent them to the front lines as the volunteers. And Wagners now have the conflict with that private military army of Gazprom, maybe because potentially Gazprom has lots of the funds compared to the Wagner army and may displace them from this leadership of the private armies in Ukrainian war. So this private Gazprom army was blocked in some area near to the Bakhmut. I don't know where it happened, but it was the video recorded by the soldiers of this Gazprom. Well, they speak Russian and it will take lots of the time for us to listen and translate. In general, they say that they wanted to leave positions because of the heavy fire from Ukrainian side and no backup from the Russian side with artillery, but Wagners blocked them and said, go and fight or we'll shoot you. So now they're not able to leave the place. That is why they start to record the video to Putin. Yeah, very funny, but Wagners are also in a deep problem with the Bakhmut city. And before I tell you about it, I want to shout out the sponsor of this channel and also the long-term partner of mine, the Atlas VPN. And still, it's the best offer on the market and the best VPN service out there. Let me tell you why. After my first YouTube channel pilot blog was hacked a few years ago, I started to put my eyes close on securing of my digital data. I tried many VPNs and decided to stop on Atlas VPN. Basically, they have what I need: fantastic coding of the military standard data encryption, awesome speed. No matter what internet connection do I use, it has never been slowed down when I turn on the Atlas VPN. Actually, it's constantly on. I use it on my iPad, my iPhone and my laptop. And I can access that from the single account. They really have the good support of the multiple devices. I'm not the native English speaker, so then I want to study some English. I usually go to Netflix to watch the French series, but somehow it's not available here, so I switch the Atlas VPN on to watch my favorite series. They have fantastic dialogues, good for studying. By changing my virtual location using Atlas VPN, I may search also for the discounts on some of the services, for example, booking. For some of the countries they have huge discounts and I can choose whatever country I want. My friends, I highly recommend you to join the 3 years plan for just $199 per month and you'll have 82% of discount. That is what I got. There is no risk for you, my friends, because if somehow you won't like it, there is the option for 30 days money back guarantee. But I personally like it and I just can't imagine modern digital life without using VPN. And for me, the Atlas VPN is the best out there. Alright, some breaking news. While I'm recording this video, there were several explosions reported in St. Petersburg airport. Maybe that's the military airfield. So far I'm in lack of the information and we heard just the loud bang. I'll just turn on the sound. I hope you'll hear it. So just a single explosion was recorded on the CCTV cam, but no visuals. Maybe we're gonna see it a little later. So Prigozhin says that there's the big problem in Wagner, they're still in lack of the artillery shells and other ammunition. The flanks in the Bakhmut city are still weak with the regular Russian forces, and also he said that Ukraine is planning the counterattack after the 2nd of May, and they may cut the flanks for the Wagner army and encircle the Wagner forces in the Bakhmut city. Also he complains about the Gazprom private military army Potok and that he is losing the people. He himself said that the ratio of losses is 1-5, not in favor of the Wagner forces. I personally thought that in urban environment of the Bakhmut city the losses would be 1-1 or 1-2, but he said 1-5. That is absolutely tremendous, so I understand now why Ukrainian army still continue to resist in the Bakhmut city, because with that ratio we may cause Russians severe losses. Yes, we also lose a lot, but we keep Russians away from other cities in one particular area, the Bakhmut city. And at this time we may prepare for the counter-assault on different direction. Prigozhin said that with this ratio there will be less and less soldiers in the Wagner army, and he admitted that they are unable to take Kromove under control, and this is the very important crossroad for the supplies. And also they are unable to encircle the Ukrainian army in the Bakhmut city as was planned before. As a result, in May they will take the fully ruined city under their control, declaring the propaganda win. But not for a long time, because Ukraine will start a counteroffensive that will shock Russia. Right, I cannot stop this image because it's the GIF file, but anyways, you may see that on February 11th there were lots of the armored vehicles, artillery systems in one of the storage places of Crimea, and little by little Russia took everything from it, and now it's just the wasteland with no any vehicles. So they start to use their strategic vehicles that should have been used to protect the Crimea Peninsula. Right, one more CCTV camera from St. Petersburg. And again some sort of the explosion, but I'm not sure whether we should trust it without the visual information. Okay, one of the top Russian military officials said in the interview that it's time to let Russians to defend the border of the country because the regular Russian army is unable to do it. But he didn't say why they're unable to do it. Probably there are much less people in the Russian army nowadays. And let's go to Avdiivka, because Ukraine got some sort of the small counterattack in that area. So before it was like that, but today Ukraine gained that territory back. If you remember my yesterday's video, Russians tried to get to Novokalinova over here, but were completely demolished. They took some sort of the ground, but forced to retreat, with lots of the losses. And today the Russian military bloggers, and one of them, the Strelkov, the war criminal, say that it's the big disaster in attempt to encircle Avdiivka, and he doesn't believe that Avdiivka will be encircled. And I also do not believe that Russia is capable to encircle that town. But what Russians also did today, they start to bomb the Antonovsky bridge across the Dnieper river. This bridge was already demolished, but they still fired their artillery towards the place. Unfortunately, some of the locals were at the crossroads near to Antonovsky bridge together with the international journalists, and unfortunately one of the locals lost his life and the international journalist was wounded. Probably he was from Spain. Sorry, he's Italian, from the La Repubblica media service, and he was wounded over there, and luckily he got the vest. The armor plate helped to avoid the dramatic damage to the body of the journalist. And according to the military media center resource, Russia totally accumulated around 370,000 soldiers in Ukraine. I thought that the number is around 200,000, but it's almost 400,000. So obviously with that number we cannot speak about the full liberation of the Ukrainian territory in nearby future. Unfortunately, this war may continue for many years. And yes, there will be the Ukrainian counterattack, but it will not take all of the lands. The only way to take the lands with a new counterattack is to go to Crimea and to cause the Russian regime to collapse. That's the single probability of that counterattack. But fighting against almost 400,000 soldiers with many more potentially able to come, it's gonna be very hard, so we need lots of the resources to liberate the Ukrainian territory. Like many times more that we have right now from our allies. Is it possible? Potentially it is possible, depends on the goal of our Western countries. Our Western allies, let's say. Well, anyways, the help is awesome that we receive, but as usually we need more and more, and that will reduce the losses in Ukrainian army. Today President Zelensky finally spoke with Xi Jinping, the leader of Communist China. It was the phone call for more than an hour. And after the talk, Zelensky said that they have the common points with Chinese peaceful plan, but Ukraine will sign the peace agreement with Russia only if they return back our territory. Today, President of Turkey Erdogan fainted during the interview. The camera switched to the interviewer, so he was really scared to see the fainted Erdogan, and as it was reported by many of the media, Erdogan got the stroke. But the president's administration denied the accusations, saying that Erdogan has the stable health condition. And we have the video of the Patriot systems that were delivered to Ukraine. One of the commanders visited the position of the Ukrainian army that is able now to operate those systems. So we have the tracks with the systems, with the rockets, we have the command centers, and we have everything that we need to fire towards the Russian cruise missiles or the fighter jets or maybe helicopters. But sometimes the Russian jets do not need any kind of the systems to be demilitarized. So one of the MiG-31s today went on fire in the skies of Murmansk and went down totally kaput. Yet I couldn't find the information about the pilot destiny, but I know the destiny of the airplane. It went into the lake, crashing into the ice, and now it's on the bottom. Russia has launched the rescue mission in the area, but they were able to find just some of the debris and the big hole in the ice. Yeah, the quality is not good, but here is the hole in the ice and some of the debris in the area. The MiG-31 is very important for Russia because it's the only airplane that may launch the hypersonic rockets. Great news today, it was one more exchange. We got many of the Ukrainian soldiers back from the Russian prison. It's been reported that totally we got 42 soldiers back. One of the main American generals, Christopher Cavalier, today said that Ukraine got 98% of everything we need for the successful counterattack. So I guess that we're waiting for the remaining 2% and for the better weather to go on a counteroffensive. One of the Azov regiment commanders, Bogdan Krotevich, today said that Ukraine may go on assault on the Russian territories of Belgorod or something like that, but it's his own opinion. I honestly do not believe in that. He said that we may take some sort of the Russian city as the hostage to free and liberate our territory. We may target the Russian military on their territory, but taking the cities as the hostages with civilians, I don't think it's the good tactics. Well, if there will be no the regular army in Ukraine, yes, in that case I would say that partisans may go and occupy the Russian territory and say, give our territory back. But we have quite a big army that was reinforced by our allies, so it's capable for the successful missions on our territory. Still, we would like to see more tanks and fighter jets provided to Ukraine, but we have what we have. So it's just the sole opinion of Bogdan, and I have my opinion on that topic that I say to you. Our military intelligence officially warned the Russians not to attend the military parades on 9th of May in Moscow. Interesting. Why did they say it? My friends, now press the like to this video and please don't forget to check the link for the Atlas VPN Premium in the video description just below. It is the best offer out there, so hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.